Welcome our SVM students. Today we are going to see bending of cyclist in curves. Not only that cyclist want to bend, if you be ride by a bike, through the bike, if we travel in a curved path, there we want to bend certain angle, then only we can safely travel without falling. Without falling, we can travel. For that, what angle we want to bend, that we are going to see. Above that angle, if we bend, our body can be leave from that path. We can fall. So that's why that is the most important, at least what angle we want to bend, then only we can travel with a safe. This is the most important for us, for a angle of bending in a curved path. So that is in our fifth lesson. Our fifth lesson topic is motion of the particles and rigid bodies. Anyhow, in that fifth lesson, motion of the particles and rigid bodies, we are going to see that most important topic, bending of cyclists in a curves. So for seeing this concept, we want to take an circular shape of that path. That the circular shape of the path may have a certain radius. So that we are going to take. We have a path in the shape of circle. Through this circular path, we are going to ride by bike or cycle. That's why here, cyclist going to negotiating that curved path, that is traveling in a circular shape of the path, that circular shape of the path which may have certain radius or radius. We consider this point as a center point and named as a O. Through this circular path, if we ride by bicycle or by bike, then we want to bend our body to a certain angle. Without bending, we cannot safely travel in our curved path. So that's why that angle of bending is very most important for us for the safe travel in our curved path. So anyhow, we are going to travel through this circular shape of the path by using a bicycle. So bicycle with us, we consider as a system. We consider as a system. In our explanation, we take that cyclist with cycle taken as a system. As a system. That cyclist with the cycle taken as a system which has a certain mass. So, mass of our system. Mass of a system can be mentioned as a M. In that system, their total weight is hacked at one point. That point may be called as a center of gravity. The system's total mass is, that is, total weight is going to act at a point. That point we are calling as a center of gravity. The center of gravity is named as C. In our system, center of gravity point in our system is taken as a C. That the total weight of the system is going to act at that point only. If the system is travel in a circular shape of that path, if system is travel in a circular shape of the path, we consider that the center of gravity point is traveling through the circular path. That circular path having a radius or radius. Circular path radius is considered as a R radius. So that's why our system, which is taken as a system, cyclist with a cycle is taken as a system. Its total weight is acted at one point. That point may be called as a center of gravity. So that's why that point as a system to travel in a circular shape of the path. That circular shape of the path having a radius R radius, and the system's speed can be taken, let me assume the v speed. So speed of the system is nothing but cyclist plus cycle taken as a small v. So that C point, that is a total weight point going to travel in a circular path which has a radius R radius, and its speed is a v speed. So that center point to that center of gravity, we have the line joining. That line may be taken as along the x-axis. Perpendicular to that x-axis, we can mention any one of that axis. Any one of the axis means we can represent either y-axis or z-axis. Now I am going to represent that center of that circular path as a axis of rotation. Axis of rotation. That axis I am called as a z-axis. That through that center of that circular path, if you draw that perpendicular line, that is a vertical line that is perpendicular to the x-axis, can called as a axis of rotation, and we represent that is a z-axis. So if a cyclist is traveling in a circular path, that axis of rotation is a z-axis. Axis of rotation is z-axis. Okay. Next we are going to take that cyclist with a cycle as a system. That system is going to rest in a rotating frame. You imagine that the total path as a disc shape. There we have a axis. On that disc shape, we have a system. That system is a rest on that rotating frame. Why I am taken as a disc means because our frame of reference is taken as a rotating frame of reference, because we are going to travel in a circular shape of that path. So that's why our frame of reference is taken as a rotating frame of reference. On that rotating frame of the reference, our system is going to rest. For system rest on that rotating frame of reference, there we want to find the angle of bending, there we should use centrifugal force. That centrifugal force is act through that center of gravity of our system. Centrifugal forces act through that center of gravity of our system. So that axes are going to taken now for that other diagram. That is that cycle wheel is touching this point and our center of gravity is at this point. If the center of gravity is at this point, our system's total weight is acting downwards or towards the center of that earth. That is mg. And line joining that point of contact of our wheel is taken like that. At that point of contact, we are representing the point is A. This point is taken as a center of gravity point. At that center of gravity point, our system weight is acting towards the center of our earth. That is a mg. There we are taken that dotted line touches that horizontal axis may represent B. Anyhow, if our system is in our rotating frame, for solving the problem, there we want to apply centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. That centrifugal force is act through that center of gravity in this direction, in outward direction. If we travel in a circular path towards the center of the circular path, centripetal force is acting. But that's opposite force is centrifugal force. Equal and opposite force is centrifugal force. Act in outward direction. That's why the centrifugal force direction is this. There, that value is mv squared by r. So at that center of gravity, there we have here two forces, mg gravitational force, mv squared by r centrifugal force. But we consider this point is a fixed point for our system. About this fixed point, at the center of gravity we have that gravitational force had to rotate the system. That mg acted to rotate the system. In which direction? Which may be acted means in clockwise it is acting. That mg force from that A to C point, if it is acted, it makes a rotational effect to our center of gravity. But that rotational effect is in clockwise direction. Clockwise direction rotational effect, if it is produced, there we have a torque, clockwise torque. Clockwise torque always taken in a negative. Clockwise torque always taken in a negative. But centrifugal force, which is acting through the center of gravity to make the systems to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So there, that centrifugal force produces a torque on our system in anti-clockwise. So that torque can be taken as a positive value. Positive value. Anyhow, we already considered our system is rest on the rotating frame of reference. If any system is rest on a rotating frame of reference, the net torque is 0. But there we have two torques, gravitational torque and centrifugal force torque. That two torques are act in opposite direction. One is in clockwise, another one is in anti-clockwise. So the two torques are equal and opposite. Then only that net torque is 0. If net torque is 0 means the system is equilibrium or rest on that rotating frame of reference. Rotating frame of reference. In our system, these are the two forces act the rotational effect. But there we have another two forces also. If we travel through that circular shape of the path, between our vehicle tire to the road, there we have a frictional force. In which direction that frictional force is acting means, in a inward direction of that circular path, that frictional force is acting. So that's why that frictional force is named and represented as a F suffix R. And towards the center of the circular path it is acting. But whatever may be that object placed in our surface of the earth, if it is at rest, its weight is acting downward direction. But it want to make a rest means opposite another force is acting. That force is called as a normal force. That normal force is acting in the direction. This is the theta, called as a angle of bending of our system with a vertical axis. Theta is the angle of bending of our system with the vertical axis. With the vertical axis, which is parallel to the rotational axis. Z axis is taken as a rotational axis. To that parallel, these vertical axis we are representing and making angle is theta. So, total number of forces act on that system. That is, number of forces act on our system are four. One is the gravitational force. mg. Second one is the centrifugal force. That is mv squared by r. Third one is normal force. Represented as n. And fourth one, that is a frictional force. May be represented as a Fr. The first two forces are producing a rotational effect. First two forces are producing a rotational effect. But third and fourth forces, that is normal force and frictional force, which are act through that point of contact of our system, that will not produce a rotational effect because their position vectors values are 0. But we have perpendicular distance values for gravitational force and centrifugal force, and they are producing a torque on our system in one is in a clockwise direction, another one is in a anti-clockwise direction. Which torque is acting in clockwise, that values are going to taken in negative. Which torque is acting in anti-clockwise, that torque value is taken in a positive. If you take like that, and if the system is at rest, net torque is 0. If our system is rest on rotating frame of reference, rotating frame of reference, net torque is 0. Is the most important point. If any system is rest or equilibrium on a rotating frame of reference, then the torque act on that system becomes a 0. Not only that the torque act on the system is 0, torque produce which one? Force. That's why net force as well as the net torque both are 0 for system rest on a rotating frame of reference. Rotating frame of reference. So we have two torques in our system. The torque one is torque produced by gravitational force. That value is tau 1 is equal to mg, that is basic formula is what for that torque means torque equal to force into perpendicular distance. Their force is gravitational force. What is the perpendicular distance for our system means for our gravitational force perpendicular distance is AB. That's why into AB. In clockwise. So it is negative. It is negative. Then second torque we have tau 2. That torque produced by centrifugal force. Centrifugal force, that can be taken the value tau 2 is equal to force is centrifugal force m squared by r, and its perpendicular distance is BC. Perpendicular distance is BC. In which direction it is acting? Acts in anti-clockwise direction. So tau 2 is taken in positive. So tau 1 is a negative torque and tau 2 is a positive torque. So whatever may be that, our system is rest on our rotating frame of our frame of reference. Our system is rest in a rotating frame of reference. If system is rest in a rotating frame of reference, net force and net torque both are 0. Now we are making tau net is 0. That is net torque can be represented as a tau net. Tau net equal to 0. Then we are going to make a vector sum for resultant of that two torques, because that torque is a vector quantity. That's why we are taken tau net can be taken as tau 1 vector plus tau 2 vector. That values are going to stop. Okay. Next we will see to derivation of that angle of bending. For that our system is rest on a rotating frame of reference. So if system is rest, otherwise we can say equilibrium on the rotating frame. Then that can be taken as F net equal to 0, tau net also equal to 0. On our system, two torques are acting. First torque is given by the gravitational force. That torque is acting in a clockwise direction. That's why that value is taken in a negative. Second torque is given by that centrifugal force, which is acting in anti-clockwise direction. That's why that anti-clockwise torque is taken in positive. Anyhow, that torques are vector quantity. So tau net vector is equal to tau 1 vector plus tau 2 vector. For our system at rest in a rotating frame, then we can take 0. That is tau 1 vector plus tau 2 vector is equal to 0. Then we are going to substitute that tau 1 value, that is given by the gravitational force, minus mg, that is into AB, plus another one is tau 2, that can be taken as mv squared by r into BC equal to 0. If one factor is a minus, another factor is a plus, means the minus factor is taken that side. That's why mv squared by r into BC equal to mg into AB. Then we are simplifying that, are cancelled. V squared by R into BC equal to G into AB. These BC and AB values we want to calculate, that are perpendicular distance. So for that previous diagram we are going to draw once again. This direction FR is acting, here N is acting, is the center of gravity point, that is C. We have the line joining, this point may be represented as A. Mg is acting in downward direction, and the centrifugal force mv squared by r is acting in this direction. Our bending direction, the system bending direction is this. So the system makes the theta angle with the vertical axis. There, according to our mathematical principle, oppositely alternate angle, this also theta. If you tag on that perpendicular line, this point may be represented as B. This is the perpendicular distance taken for that gravitational force. That value we want to calculate. So according to our right angle triangle condition ABC, then sin theta is equal to, what is that basic formula? Sin theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. Which one is opposite side? AB. Hypotenuse side is AC. So AB is equal to AC sin theta. So value of AB is AC sin theta. In that same triangle, next we are going to find that BC value, BC length, the same triangle we are going to tackle. That BC side is act in that adjacent side of our taken triangle. So we are going to taken cos theta. In that same triangle ABC, cos theta is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse side. Adjacent side is BC. Hypotenuse is AC. So that's why BC is equal to AC cos theta. These two values, that is AB is equal to AC sin theta and BC is equal to AC cos theta, is going to substitute on our formula. What is that? Our resultant formula means V squared by R into BC equal to G into AB. Instead of BC, what we are going to substitute means AC cos theta. V squared by R into, that is AC cos theta equal to G into, instead of AB we are going to substitute AC into sin theta. In our expression, AC is common on both sides, so we are cancelling that. After that, we are going to rearrange to take on that tan theta expression. So what is tan theta? Sin theta by cos theta. Like that we are going to take on for sin theta by cos theta equal to V squared by R into G. Then the sin theta by cos theta can be taken as tan theta. V squared by RG. What we want to find? Angle of bending we want to find. Theta equal to tan inverse of V squared by RG. How we are taken this one means, take tan inverse on both sides. If you take tan inverse on both sides, tan and tan inverse are cancelled. You will get the theta only. But right side we are not having anything. That's why we are substituted tan inverse is taken. So this is called as a angle of bending. If our bending angle is very small as compared to this angle, at the time of traveling in a bending path, we can fall in that outward. If our bending angle is very small as compared to this angle of bending, at the time of traveling in our bending path, We cannot travel continuously, we can fall outside. And another case also we have, if theta, our bending is very large as compared to this value, we can be fall inwards. So without falling inwards as well as the outwards, by the nature our body want to bend certain angle. Then only travel in our arc path or bending path in a safer manner is the most important. But by nature, our body itself automatically it makes bending. So our brain makes to save our body to travel in our vehicle in a curved path. So that's why our body with our system automatically bending to cover a curved path in a safe manner. But that safe manner traveling, we need a angle of bending. That angle of bending is theta is equal to tan inverse of b squared by rg. So the angle of bending depends upon the what are the factors means depends upon that speed of that vehicle through which that arc path travelled, and r is the radius of that circular path. Then we know that small g is acceleration due to gravity. At a place it is constant. So that's why at the time of traveling in a curved path, very important, already in a straight path you are travelled with a very high speed. In that same speed we cannot cover that bending path. If we covered with that same speed in a bending path, we want to bend more amount of angle. More amount of angle we want to bend. By the nature, the body will not bend very larger amount of angle. So there we are reducing the speed at the time of crossing the curved path. So certain velocity only we are traveling based on that amount of bending. If bending is very small, we can manage to travel in a somewhat higher velocity. That is a higher speed. If bending is very curved path, larger amount of bending we have means we want to reduce our speed more and more. Then only we can travel safer in our more bending path. But we require an angle of bending this.